Unconventional approach, conventional challenges, a very unique topic for discussion in the times that we are right now in. So, Mr. Brahmanand Singh, we have another acclaimed National Award filmmaker with us here. You are well known for making independent cinema. As Madhur ji said, the challenges of the filmmaking might be similar. However, what are your thoughts in terms of funding between the commercial cinema and the independent cinema? Is this the time that creates new stories to tell the world? Or could that be a silver lining through all of these? Can you shed some light?
So I think like Madhur has portrayed the scenario for all of us, I think very, very well. Before that, in the larger perspectives, Frank and others did. I feel that let me address the points that maybe has not been addressed so far. And one of the things that I would like to point out is that number one, let me share that the very topic that you have, yeah, conventional approach. I think we are living in unconventional. It needs unconventional approach because the challenges are unconventional. So I think a lot of things are changing, will change. There is no doubt about that. However, every 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, there is a palpable change. There is a defining change in the way everything is happening. I think 20 years, I would say. So here, what will happen is that since we are in the business of entertainment, we are in the business of storytelling, a lot of responsibility gets shifted on us for the popular mindset as well, because we create stories of hope. I think the kind of despondency, the kind of pessimism, the kind of hopelessness that many of us are going through, there needs to be a lot of stories of hope and things like that. So I think at the same time, consumption is not going down. Like Madhur said, everyone is the digital consumption has gone up even more. I mean, many
Huge.
times more. Yes, huge. So maybe the manner of watching the films will change from theater to home theaters and large screen and large television sets and all those things, 18-inch sets and things like that. Maybe the release patterns will change. It will happen on Amazon and Netflix. Says maybe every Friday there would be 10 movies that will be coming on Netflix or Amazon or uh, all these platforms. But I think that the second part that I wanted to address is that by nature, uh, filmmakers, especially independent filmmakers, but all filmmakers, are not just artists, but they are also entrepreneurs. Okay, so they have to devise ways constantly to find ways to make films. I'm sure Madhur has gone through that. A lot of us have gone through that, where it's there's no one particular way to make a film. So I think when you ask me for funding, I think there will be a lot of unconventional ways to generate funding. I mean, till some time back, nobody had even thought of something called crowdfunding. Okay, but it came up. I mean, at the same time, there used to be something very palpable. There used to be state funding, and it's still in many uh, big and progressive, culturally progressive countries, there is a lot of state funding. So I think a lot of those will probably
And
happen. Funding patterns will change. At the same time, there will be an even greater need to tell stories and tell stories of hope, tell stories of positivity, and
दरवाजा ओपन कर
in a way
स्मेल
that it engulfs all of us and connects all of us. So I think the patterns are definitely changing. The approaches have to be unconventional rather than conventional, and I think this is something that we have to be very, very assured of, that we don't have to panic, because there have been calamities before, there have been interruptions before. There is nothing like this that one can think of long time back, not even Spanish flu, and nothing that we can compare it with. But there will be a change. There will be a change. Things will get back to normal. In a cricket parlance, I would say this is a rain interrupted match. Maybe the match will get washed out, maybe the year will get washed out, but there will be another match. There will be the second test match or the third test match. So hold on. I think that summing it up, patterns are very patterns are emerging, and they are very, very different. The way we consume entertainment, the way consume life, consume job, I think will be very different. Entrepreneurial elements will survive, hope will survive, optimism will survive. And I think these are the things that will define from the people who will uh, enter the mainstream back again when things happen, and people who get sidelined and who just fade out. So I think it's a very one of those phases where a lot of things are being churned out, and let's see what comes out. But yes, hope needs to be there, I think, and we need to do a lot of things with understanding that there will be ways, and there will be ways to do things.
What was your most impactful personal learning during this pandemic, and what is your advice to the viewers?
I think on yes, on a larger scale, on an Earth Day, I think that it. I think we all were running too fast, and we were running so fast that everything was going berserk. So this is a wonderful way. It was almost like in a Hindi film, the villain goes absolutely out of hand and is creating chaos all over till his younger brother is killed, and then he sits down and takes stock of things. So I think this as a pause button has been a remarkable one, and I think it was a very, very needed one. On a personal level, I think that there is a lot of hope, there is a lot of promise. These moments give you a lot of opportunities to realize wherein lies the opportunity and how the world changes. You had Germany, which was almost finished in one world war. You had Japan, which was almost finished in another world war. But look at the way they all came. And nearer home, we have Gujarat, we have Kutch, we have, well, they were minor calamities, but any calamity, people do regain. It's human. The resilience is very high in human kind, mankind. And I think we will all get back, and we need to look for those human elements and opportunities. Human elements without opportunities without human elements is not going to work in the post-corona time, I think. I think that's our greatest learning and victory, probably.